Right.
Anyway.
Wow. Okay.
What's all that about? Welcome back to What's All That About? A podcast where two cheeky chaps chat candidly about stuff. My name is Kelso, one of the aforementioned cheeky chaps, and with me, as always, is my dear longtime mate, sumo wrestler backend and co-host Kerwin. G'day, Kerwin!
Kelso, thank you for that wonderful introduction, and may I say to you, a million welcomes.
Thank you very much. You have made me welcome again, and dear listener will be surprised to hear that. So welcome that I need to get your feedback on this question I had, this thought I had recently in the shower. You know when fish get released by fishermen who are in for it for the sport, not so much for the eating, or they're undersized, or whatever the case might be, do you think those fish get uppity and reckless after the fact?
You mean like once they've been thrown back?
Yeah, because my underlining premise to my question here is presumably that the fish doesn't know it's being released. They think they've escaped.
Right. Or maybe they feel like they've had a near-death experience and feel like they're slightly immortal.
That's right. Or, they get a really big idea of themselves and I wiggled out of that one, no problem. And then, therefore, they could get uppity and reckless.
They start, deciding they're going to swim around sharks. You can't kill me!
And, I reckon they might, start bragging to their mates.
Yeah, they're fish mates, obviously.
Yeah, they're fish mates.
Do you reckon fish are just only friends with other fish, or do you reckon it's like in the cartoons where a fish will be friends with a lobster and a sea star and a sponge?
Yeah, depends on their upbringing, I suppose. Whether or not they're xenophobic, shall we say?
Yeah, ocean life is surprisingly prejudiced. You wouldn't think that.
I thought you were going to say ocean life, at least in cartoons, is surprisingly heterogeneous. Because I know at least one children's cartoon, they've got a sponge who's best friends with a crab.
That's SpongeBob SquarePants.
You
who
got
lives in a pineapple under the sea. Yeah. Yeah. No,
there's not many actual sponges that star in their own television shows, when you come to think of it. Lots of rabbits and ducks, but not so many sponges.
Well, it was good to see them squaring up the ledger when it came to sponges. It's been too long.
Represent.
Yeah, I think our television screens for too long were spongeless.
And square. Well, they're still square. But ironically, I don't wear pants when I watch TV.
Really?
Can avoid it.
Like completely nude?
No,
down
no.
The bottom,
wear underwear, but just no trousers.
Well, fair enough. Well, that's exactly what I'm wearing right now. I'm t-shirt, underpants. I don't want to alarm you.
Standard podcast.
Tasteful underwear. Yeah, the cooler climate is starting to wear off now. So, I don't need two layers on the bottom half when I'm relaxing.
Understood. Now, what do you think fish's position on kissing of fish is as well?
As in humans kissing a fish,
or
as
vice
they
versa.
Get released. Because I don't know, maybe that you and I know this. There was a famous broadcaster, a famous guy that used to have his own fishing show here in Australia, and his big thing was that every time he let a fish go, just before he let it go, he'd kiss it.
That's right. Now, do you think that might actually up the ante of the bragging story the fish has to tell its lobster mates? Because not only did he get, come to the very precipice of being caught by this human, fought back and escaped, but he got to the very point where he thought the human was about to shove him in the mouth, a la the kiss. Then he escaped. What a story!
Well, I mean, I guess it would be well. The guy's name in question I'm referring to, his name is Rex Hunt. That was his name.
Right.
Do you remember his
Say
name?
that carefully.
Yeah, Rex Hunt. Well, there was that old joke. What smells like fish and ends in UNT? What's Rex Hunt?
It's Rex Hunt.
Get your mind out of the gutter. It was only ever Rex Hunt. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you could have bragging rights for saying that you snogged Rex Hunt. He wasn't exactly an oil painting.
That's right. But, who knows what he looks like to a fish. Probably blurry out of water, I dare say.
Well, like a fisheye lens,
Yes.
that whole thing, the camera with a fisheye lens. Is that maybe that's how they see us? So in that case, we all look pretty weird.
Understood.
Even
I'm just
Brad Pitt
assuming
would look odd to a fish.
I dare say so. I'm assuming a fish's eyesight out of water is similar to our eyesight when you open your eyes in salt water. It kind of stings and is blurry. So the perfect conditions to fall in love with Rex Hunt.
Oh, do you reckon that after those what are those fish that fly out of the flying fish?
Yeah, I know them.
I got there. Like they spend a lot of time out of the water. Do you reckon after a long day of being up out of the water, they have really red eyes? Like, oh man, I got so much air today.
Definitely. Yeah. If I was a flying fish, I would simply shut my eyes each time I emerged above the water. Flying blind.
I was told, I don't know if this is true or not, maybe this is worth a little Google. I was told that when I was a kid, that there was a movie about flying fish that ate people, or flying piranhas. Is that a thing?
Oh, that sounds like the type of movie that probably came out after Piranhas. Was Piranhas successful? Was that the name of the movie?
I don't think so. Piranha? Well, I don't know, but this is from a kid who hardly ever watched movies when we were a kid. We just weren't allowed. And I remember someone telling me about piranhas and how piranhas ate people. And for some reason, flying fish must have just been on my mind. I mean, like, imagine if there was like a movie where like the flying fish would eat people or piranhas could fly. And this guy goes, "Yeah, that's a movie that exists." I don't know if he was making that up.
All right.
Or
so I'm gonna give it a Googs, dear listener.
see if it exists.
So what I'm going to put in flying
piranhas.
Movie.
Yes,
Piranha
that's an actual
movie.
thing. I don't know why it's taking me this long to Google that, but it just occurred to me. It's a thought I haven't had for many years.
We've hit the nail on the head, because I can tell you that in 1982,
Oh my god! It exists.
a movie called Piranha 2: Flying Killers came out. So it was actually the follow-up to Piranha, which directed by James Cameron in his
No way!
directorial debut. Yeah, this
Oh
morning.
my god!
Mm-hmm. So let's see where here we go. Blah blah blah. Carry the two. Soon after, two women and a man are killed by piranha, which has developed the ability to fly. Look out!
Well, lucky him.
Yeah.
As if having really really sharp teeth wasn't a huge advantage. It's like suddenly they can fly.
That's right. I can probably see out
I'd
of the
love
water.
to know
That's Piranha 3.
I want to know, maybe this is a movie that I should just go and watch. James Cameron, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, let me tell you the wash up here. Where's the critical
give me
reception?
The synopsis.
I won't go into synopsis. I don't want to ruin it for dear listeners.
Okay, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Okay, the two. Oh, there's no. I'm afraid to say. I mean, everyone puts a varying level of faith into the Rotten Tomatoes score, but I'm afraid that holds a 6% approval rating.
Ooh, that's low.
That's only 17 reviews, but it was a box office bomb.
Well,
and Metacritic reported, based on 5 reviews, overwhelming dislike.
Look, I'm not sure if you can get on your high horse if you're sitting there watching a movie about flying piranhas.
Well, Piranha 3 is actually called High Horse. No, it's Piranha 4, sorry.
Is this where the piranhas figured out how to tame seahorses?
They went Ape of the Planet style, and they're riding horses around now on the beach, just under the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, I thought you meant like maybe seahorses that were running around.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
Well, that would be impressive if a piranha managed to tame a stallion. That would be pretty cool.
It took a couple of movies for them to work it out, but they got there.
So
Now,
I'm assuming Piranha 1 was just a straight up piranha movie. So people, kind of like Jaws, but it was a piranha. I'm guessing that's probably what
I'd
that
say
was.
so.
And then they thought, okay, we got a sequel. We've managed to get funding for a sequel. What can we do to up the ante? Let's give him wings.
It makes sense. Now, it's quite strange, though, on this Wikipedia article, there's no link back to the original Piranha movie. So, hang on, here we go. No, I found one. Down here in the production section, because I just want to see what reception that got, because it must have been well enough or good enough to have a sequel. Maybe it was straight to VHS, but 1982, not many people had VHSs, did they? Or were they just starting to buy them?
Yeah, maybe that was the movie that they were hoping would kick off the VHS craze.
69% on Rotten Tomatoes, so obviously much better. And got a thumbs up.
Yeah, okay. So James Cameron made that, and then
No, he didn't make Piranha. He made the Piranha 2.
When was Piranha 2?
1982. Piranha 1978.
Okay, so that was... So he made Piranha 2 after he made Aliens, which was basically Alien 2.
No.
He had to have. Because the original Alien was 1979.
Okay, let's have a look at his filmography and we'll nail this to
Did he make Aliens before or after Piranha 2? The Flying Piranha movie?
Aliens 1986. Terminator.
The
Terminator 1984.
Oh, the Terminator, okay.
So,
well, that's a pretty decent career arc there. Piranha 2.
You know he's...
Terminator.
How many movies do you think James Cameron has made, would you say off the top of your head?
Well, I know he takes his sweet time, so I'm going to go... that he was a director of, I'm going to go 12.
I would have thought it'd been much more. I think it is, just getting up here, okay, 10.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
That was...
And they're all, I mean, don't need to tell your dear listener this, they're all absolute crackers. Although I don't think I've seen Ghosts of the Abyss.
No. Yeah, look, James Cameron knows his way around a handycam, that's for sure.
That's right. Last thing about these fish and kissing, do you think some fish who are lacking a few social clues and have no luck with the ladies would misinterpret the kiss and fall in love with Rex Hunt?
I don't think fish are capable of a passionate kiss because fish have no tongues.
Okay, fair enough. But they can receive one.
Well, they could. Well, maybe that's true. But as we were just talking about piranhas, I'm not sure if I'd want to stick my tongue down a fish's throat. It's pretty gross. But I think when it comes to kissing fish, it's purely platonic.
So just a peck on the gills.
If you're lucky.
I can't think of a fish joke. I need more time to mull it over. Apologies for the bad pun. I usually like to keep my humour sophisticated.
Cohen. Roselle has just pushed the table across to me. Hang on, I've misunderstood that. Roselle has just pushed this across the table to me. She's sent me this interesting article on the internet. Let's check it out. Man who sexually assaulted Tickle Me Elmo once charges dropped. Whoa, hang on. I think I better read that again as well.
Whoa.
Man who sexually assaulted Tickle Me Elmo wants charges dropped.
Right.
Well, have you? What did you take away from that?
So hang on. So a guy sexually assaulted Elmo, And
Tickle
then
me, Elmo.
Tickle me, Elmo, not just regular Elmo. And then he obviously Tickle me, Elmo pressed charges, I'm assuming. And now that guy wants the charges dropped.
Yeah.
Probably due to Tickle Me Elmo was asking for it, I would say, because the clue's in the name.
Yeah, I don't think any jury would convict. No, but you're quite right. Any courtesy of the 1983 Supreme Court ruling, of course, any puppet does have the ability to press charges in line with what was going on at the time. Lots of hands being shoved up asses, apparently.
Yeah, that's true. I believe it was called the Geppetto Act. I think I have my politics right. Yeah.
Oh, crikey. Right, so I think a third time is worthwhile. Man who sexually assaulted Tickle Me Elmo wants charges dropped. Now, Tickle Me Elmo was a particular toy version of Elmo. Am I right?
I think, yeah. I mean, I never owned one, but I believe if you touched it, it giggled or something like that. And I could be wrong. I think it even beckoned you to tickle him. I mean, I'm paraphrasing now. I think it would say, "Tickle me," something like that. Paraphrasing, of course.
Dear listener, won't be surprised to find that I just did a Google shit in the background.
Quiet one. Oh, I didn't even know. You was quiet as a moose.
Yeah, so I reckon like half a second of the theme tune, which is called what again? Remind me.
The Girl from Ipanema.
Girl from Ipanema.
The Flugelhorn version, if dear listener at home.
I love Flugelhorn. I've got all their albums. Tickle Me Elmo is a children's plush toy. Okay, lovely. When squeezed, Elmo shakes, vibrates, and recites his trademark giggle. Right.
So his giggle was trademarked?
Well, it says actually hit. Oh, I guess so, yeah. So you've got to squeeze him, not necessarily tickle him.
So let me get this straight. He giggles, and he vibrates.
And shakes.
What age group was this toy aimed at?
No comment.
Okay.
Yeah, so Wikipedia specifically says when squeezed, not when tickled.
Oh.
Anyway, I believe it was a huge hit. And yeah, 1996, there was a craze for the Tickle Me Elmo. It was like the toy at the centre of Arnold Schwarzenegger's classic film, Jingle Bells.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way, sorry, dear listener. Don't Google what I said.
So why didn't they call it the Squeeze Me Elmo? I mean, I suppose
there must have been some marketing reasons. Squeeze Me Elmo. Sounds more like a instruction once you've got established a safe word.
Exactly. It's a bridge too far, I think. Tickle Me Elmo is...
Squeeze Me Cohen of the podcast.
Okay, so...
Anyway.
There you go. We've now established the inner workings of the Tickle Me Elmo. Did it require batteries? Of course it did. And were they included?
What?
Of course they weren't.
Well, I'm not sure if that's a subsection on the Wikipedia article. Anyway, some important background there for a dear listener who may not have been part of the Tickle Me Elmo craze in 1997.
Well, I wasn't, so thank you for filling me in.
Man who sexually assaulted Tickle Me Elmo wants charges dropped. A Michigan man who sexually assaulted a Tickle Me Elmo doll. Well, that's right up straight and centre. What's going on in Michigan?
Right. I don't know.
It does get cold up there. A Michigan man who sexually assaulted a Tickle Me Elmo doll during a home inspection wants his charges dropped. Well, layers. This is an onion. There's layers upon layers here. During a home inspection.
So, like, when he was, like, checking out a home to buy, he went into, like, he went into a room, saw a Tickle Me Elmo there, and he suddenly got aroused? Or is that what's happening here?
How? Yeah, what circumstances would lead to a home inspection fomenting a romantic encounter between a Muppet and a man?
Right. Okay. You do read on.
Well, let me ask you this.
I
Let me ask you this. Have you ever been on a home inspection?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Have you ever been sexually attracted to an item found in said home inspection?
Almost certainly no. I think I've probably seen my fair share of Elmos here and there, stuffed toys. Yeah, nothing doesn't really get me going. I guess I'm more of a Miss Piggy kind of a guy anyway, so...
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Kevin, our hero, was charged earlier this month with an indecent act with the stuffed doll. Okay, there's missing some punctuation here. So Kevin was charged earlier this month with an indecent act with a stuffed doll, comma, has requested that a judge ignore his verbal and written confessions to police, which came after cops were called to a home in suburban Detroit. Whew, that's quite a long sentence.
Okay, I'm just trying to get my head around.
So he was charged with an indecent act with the stuffed doll.
I'm guessing that I think we could use our imagination, dear listener. I'm pretty sure we know what that sex act would have been.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there wasn't a great deal of foreplay.
Oh,
No?
does cuddling count? Like third base, second base?
Sorry, cuddling is not even a base. I don't think you're not even on the in the diamond with cuddling.
Cuddling is halfway to first base, which is kissing, right?
Oh, is it? Okay, halfway to first base.
I think first base
cuddle.
is kissing.
Wow, wow! I've realised I've just gone first base with my grandma. Didn't realise that's what that meant. Wow, sorry, grandma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
perhaps dear listener and I should give you a minute.
I'm gonna have a cold shower. No, it's all right. I'm good. Just take a big swig of my wine.
Okay. Yeah, so I think kissing is base 1.
Okay.
Heavy petting, that's what I'm looking for, is base 2.
Heavy petting, base 2.
Right. So Kevin could have actually been engaged in heavy petting. Would that be considered a indecent act?
So is that what it says? Kevin was engaged in heavy petting, or this is just what you were thinking?
Oh, sorry.
Right. Okay. Because
I've confused you and the dear listener. No, the article says he was charged earlier this month with an indecent act.
Right. Well, I was
So
going to say,
I'm
Kelso, that if kissing is first base and heavy petting is second base, we're running out of bases. You know what I mean? I think we're going to skip over some stuff. We might have to Google at some point what the bases actually are, because I'm never been that clear. I guess we didn't grow up in a baseball country. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, no. There is a appropriate analogy with cricket you may not be aware of.
Oh, is it?
Okay. First base equates to a single.
Okay, yeah,
You know,
that's fair enough.
Push to a long mid-off.
One run.
That's kissing.
Yeah.
2 is heavy petting, and that's, you've knocked it out to the deep cover boundary.
Yeah. Good
Back
running.
for 2 easy. Heavy
Yeah.
petting. Yep. Now a 3, that's when you've edged it down to long leg and you can run 3. That's fellatio and
Or
cunnilingus. That's
maybe
oral.
no. Well, for 3, maybe nudged it forward at the Adelaide Oval. Sorry, we're excluding our.
And then, of course, a home run is 4 runs, a boundary, or a 6, where you've smashed it over cow corner.
Well, obviously, a home run is a 4. That's your boundary. But I think we all know what a 6 is. Special occasions, fellas. You know what I'm saying?
No need to say, but it is divisible. 6 is divisible by 2. Anyway, we sorted that out.
Okay. Yes,
So-
we have. Okay. Now,
So we've
Elmo.
filled in the rest of the cricketing world. Now, if you're not a part of the baseball world or the cricketing world, you're still at a loss. I'm sorry, that's on you.
Is there a lacrosse analogy for? I don't know. We're running out of sports.
Well, there
here,
probably
Kelso.
is, but being completely unfamiliar with lacrosse, as I know you are
Me
as
too.
well, we
Me
won't be
too.
able to
Yeah.
deliver.
I'm sure dear listener can fill in the blanks. Okay, so Elmo.
No, Kevin. He's been
Kevin.
he's been charged with an indecent act with a stuffed doll. Now he's asking a judge to ignore his verbal and written confessions to police. Right, so not only has he been charged, he's offered verbal and written confessions to police that he did indeed engage in an indecent act with the Tickle Me Elmo. Now, this is very problematic because there's a long history of forced confessions. Do you think if you had been in a police cell for 24 hours and been harangued for that time, deprived sleep, contact with your loved ones, and indeed food and water, would you admit to indecent relations with the Tickle Me Elmo?
Oh, probably. Yeah. I would admit to indecent relations with Mr. Snuffleupagus if I was in, the conditions are right.
Well, Mr. Snuffleupagus does have a certain je ne sais quoi, so I couldn't blame you then.
It's very elusive.
He's got those bedroom eyes.
He does. The big eyelashes.
Or she.
Biggest eyelashes you've ever seen. No, it's a he because I'm pretty sure that Mr. Snuffleupagus has a sister.
Right. Are you assuming Snuffleupagus is the last name, not the first name?
I believe so. No, I think Snuffleupagus is the last name.
The family name.
Snuffleupagus, yeah. I think they're Latin. No, I don't know.
I wonder if it's actually his first name is Snuff and his last name is
Snuffleupagus.
You got it. Oh, jeez, fell at the hurdle there.
I think it'd be fair to point out at this point to the dear listener that Jim Henson and crew used to smoke a lot of weed back in the day. So, Kelso, I don't want to skip ahead in the news article here. I feel like I have to know what the indecent assault was, roughly. I feel like I need to know what Kevin's what he did. Like I almost want to say to I want to talk to Elmo. I want to sit him down and give Elmo a Tickle Me Elmo and say to Elmo, show me on the doll what the bad man did.
That's comedy. As you were saying that, I was saying that's what I should bring up next. You said exactly it. That's comedy. Tip of the cap.
There it is. Yep.
All right. Well, let's see. Kevin claims he was improperly questioned while in police custody. Fair enough. We've touched on that. Now,
that's what he said.
That's what he said. We do know, as we've been informed already, this happened during a home inspection. Okay, so Kerwin of the podcast and dear listener, can you tell me, do you think Kevin was checking out a home he was looking to rent when this incident occurred, or do you think he was the realtor?
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm going to go real. No, he couldn't. Okay, I'll go realtor. What the heck?
On March the 12th, Kevin was conducting a home inspection for a potential buyer. He was the realtor. Oh my word! So actually, that explains it more, right? Because if you first saw a Tickle Me Elmo doll, you may not fall in love or have that rush straight away, but maybe on the 4th, 5th, or 6th viewing, you'll be like, you know what? I can see it working.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure in the beginning, Kevin and Elmo started out as friends. And then
a few tickles later.
I'm just worried about anyone that's ever used this realtor. I mean, about the safety of any plush toys in any of those houses. I'd be doing a quick stock take inspection if I was one of their customers.
Yeah, well, let's hope the Detroit-based Realtor Association has taken him off the books, if these accusations are true.
Well, yeah.
Because, I mean, Kevin's loudly proclaiming his innocence here. Anyway, Kevin was conducting a home inspection for a potential buyer. Well, actually, I jumped to a conclusion there. I said that explains it more, but Kerwin, are you a believer in, love at first sight and indeed lust at first sight? Because that would be an argument for the home buyer taking a fancy to Elmo.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I do believe in lust at first sight. I know that. Yeah. I'm not sure if it extends to any Muppets though.
All right. Well, I do draw attention to a date in 1989 when you and I first met, and there was a Muppet involved, me, and I believe love at first sight did occur.
It did blossom. Yeah. Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. But there was no
That
tickling,
aside.
dear listener. No tickling at all.
And definitely Elmo did not make an appearance. 2 hours later, the homeowner checked out her home security cameras remotely.
Oh, there it is. I was going to say, was he caught in the act by something? So he was caught on camera. There we go. I was trying to
there's more to the
figure it out.
sentence, but I think 2 hours later, the homeowner checked out her home security cameras remotely. That tells us all we need to know about poor old Kevin's plight. Because, I mean, how can you argue against that?
Well, what tipped her off? I want to know. What made her check the cameras? Was there something dripping out of Elmo's mouth or something? Or I'm just asking. I just need to know.
Dear listener.
What tipped her off?
Well, strangely enough, I did tell you and dear listener I'd broken off halfway through the sentence. The very next part of the sentence, I'll read it again. 2 hours later, the homeowner checked out her home security cameras remotely to see how the inspection was going.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so he was caught in the act. He was caught in the act, but just remotely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was horrified to see Kevin allegedly remove Elmo. Oh, I'm going to stop it. Hang on, I've stopped halfway through this sentence as well. Oh dear.
Is it that bad?
Oh, I thought it was going to be worse.
Okay.
She was horrified to see him allegedly remove Elmo from her son's bedroom and do the dirty to the doll. Right. I thought they were going to talk about it. Kevin slipping Elmo out of his negligee or something. Horrible. Remove Elmo from her son's bedroom and do the dirty to the doll.
I just pictured Elmo hanging around in a negligee with a glass of wine, like some kind of desperate divorcee. Oh, hello. What are you doing here? You know,
I seem to have popped out.
I was assuming that's how the giggle went.
Oh my word! Kevin allegedly, in quotation marks, unzipped his pants and began masturbating in our son's closet with his Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh my!
Oh my word! So we're talking second base after all. A 2 down to extra cover boundary.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. That sounds like third base to me. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, Elmo, I mean, yeah, I think there's a lack of orifices to sort of, get to second or third base. I think with a
let's list them.
Muppet, that is home run. I mean, there's not much more we can do to it.
Let's list them.
You're gonna any more than that, you're gonna need a needle and a thread.
Let's list them.
Okay, okay, go on.
We've got one,
Well,
presumably the mouth, some sort of mouth cavity. 2, the bit where you put your hand up.
Oh no, but it wasn't a puppet, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that they're only a puppet when they're on the show. The actual Elmo's a puppet, but I think the toy itself.
Yeah, good point. I was assuming the Tickle Me Elbow would have a wouldn't. It probably has no orifices. Then we can agree.
Well, look, I mean, maybe you should, sidebar, Google the guy that used to be Elmo. I'm pretty sure he was in a little bit of trouble. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Seriously, true story.
True story.
Yeah, so mouth, and then, we're running a low one. Yeah, maybe I don't know.
How deep are the earlobes?
My favourite Bee Gees song, by the way.
Could you play a little bit of How Deep Are My Earlobes?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. And it's me you need to show how deep are your earlobes? How deep are your lobes? fools. I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to Tickle Me Elmo. Anyway, you get the picture.
This song is dedicated to Elmo.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. So the homeowner called 911, not surprisingly. First thing I do. Police arrived and the responding officer recalled... Well, I can't make sense of this at all. All right, the reporting deputy recalled that the homeowner said she believed that a home inspector was pleasing himself with the doll, I believe.
And she could tell this from... He was inside the son's cupboard.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. How did the security cam... Well, maybe the cupboard door was open. The cupboard door has
I think we're really sleuthing this out, Kelso. I think this is... we're going to get this guy off.
Hang on. You want to get this guy off, so you're willing to dress up as a Tickle Me Elmo. Right? I'll whisper the sweet nothings into his ear, but you've got to get him off.
Why is it always... I have to do that?
Well, sorry, that's the way things are structured here. What's all that about, officers? I mean, if you want, send in a letter to HR and I'll read it and reject it. Right. The deputy questioned Kevin.
I was going to say, are you sure were you doing your Porky Pig impression there for a second? I thought
I re-recorded it 3 times so you could edit it out, but I guess it's staying in now.
That's in there now.
The deputy questioned Kevin after showing him the home surveillance footage, and Kevin said he admitted to placing his penis in Elmo's mouth, in the doll's mouth. Oh my word, this is getting really X-rated.
But we know now it definitely went to... That's third base. I'm pretty sure that's
third base.
That's
and
third base.
We have got confirmation that the Tickle Me Elmo doll doesn't in fact have a mouth. So
it doesn't have a mouth.
No, it does have a mouth.
It does have... Okay, sorry. But is it open?
We've got to be sure, because like a teddy bear, that doesn't have a mouth, does it?
No, often it's just like a little piece of thread that's, in the shape of like an upside-down Y. Isn't it usually?
Ingeniously designed to look like a mouth, indeed.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he's admitted to clipping it down to long leg and taking 3. Oh, dear me. The deputy did report that Kevin apologised and was ashamed of his actions. Yeah. I never intended for these actions to become public.
Well, they never do they? Well, I think the only thing that saved poor old Tickle Me Elmo from having a home run scored off him was that the needlework was sound from the manufacturers.
Tip of the cap.
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, we can laugh about it because it's Tickle Me Elmo, but I'm pretty sure that the guy that used to operate him professionally. Was his name also Kevin? That could be a coincidence. And I think he got into a bit of mischief. Anyway, we don't need to go through that. But are you able to just do a quick Google shit for me?
I will do that for you and the dear listener.
Was his name also Kevin?
Kevin Clash.
That's it. Yeah. Hopefully it's not the same.
American puppeteer. Best name for puppeteering Elmo. Alright, so I'm going to look for controversy, abuse allegations.
We won't need to go into 2. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yes, he is. I don't know if he has been cancelled. I'm not reading quickly enough, but he definitely looks like he might have been cancelled.
Right. Well, at least he didn't try to give Elmo a gobby. So can't be all that bad.
Thank goodness for that. So.
Okay.
When he's applying for his next puppeteering job, he goes, "Well, at least I didn't get Elmo a gobby." Now, for
I'm
the
sure
rest
you've
of the
heard
world,
the
a
stories.
Gobby does
from,
mean a blowjob in Australian slang.
Yeah. the puppeteer saying, "You heard about what went down to Michigan, right?"
That's so deep Australian slang that, dear listener, I don't think I've ever used it.
Really? Well, dear
Well, I
listener,
don't get many.
The Gobby. Let's introduce you to the Gobby. Okay. Anyway, so is there a happy ending to that tale?
No, actually, it takes a turn for the worst here. The
Oh,
deputy testified that the evidence was seized from the home and sang in court, "We collected Elmo. We took Elmo in." So, Elmo was collected as evidence.
Well, he wasn't like I thought they might have. They didn't throw him in the bin with Oscar or anything like that. Just he's in a plastic clip seal bag, and the evidence
I don't think Oscar just accepts house guests. You realise it'd have to be a different bin.
Right, the next door neighbour's bin.
No, make no mistake. You can chuck anyone you like into a dustbin on Sesame Street, not just into Oscar's bin. Assume he's going to accept him.
Any bin, that's true. But oh wow, that's sad. That's a sad story.
And that's pretty much it. The report is just to say that he's appealing it, so there's no further details, I'm afraid. So, but let's I'll just say thoughts and prayers for Elmo.
What do you call someone who has a sexual obsession with Muppets? Nookie Monster.
Kerwin, we've received an email from Niles Nyquist. Now, dear listener, you don't have to send in your full name when you send in a suggestion of an interesting article that you'd like to hear Kerwin and I chat about. But if you do send in your full name, I will read it out. So a message from Niles Nyquist. And he sent us through this article. He is now an intern alongside Roselle. So shift over, Roselle, just a little bit further. Thank you.
Well, don't fall off the desk.
Don't give me those stink eyes. Man dies after using epoxy resin as do-it-yourself protection instead of a condom. What? Hang on, I've got to go back to Niles.
It sounds like he's dipped himself in some super glue.
Yeah. Man dies after using epoxy resin as do-it-yourself protection instead of a condom.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if we advise that, dear listener.
Epoxy resin. Well, at least it would have stayed hard.
I see what you're thinking.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just in case you lose your interest in Tickle Me Elmo. Bingo. Now there seems to be like a byline here. Not a byline as to who wrote it, but like a secondary headline. They used the adhesive to avoid pregnancy, an investigator said.
Right.
I guess they use. So in the title it says a man dies. Well, a man dies. Yes. Okay. Ugh. This could be the end of a romantic story, Romeo and Juliet, if you will.
Star-crossed lovers.
Something definitely went wrong. Star-crossed, yeah. Super glue bound lovers. An
True apothecary,
Yep.
thy epoxy resin is quick. That's a little bit of Shakespeare. I still remember a couple of lines here and there, dear listener.
And loving it. An Indian drug user suffered cataclysmic organ failure and died after skipping the use of condom in favour of a high-powered epoxy resin while having sex. Woo!
Oh, so many things about that sentence. All right, let's tuck in the napkin and get stuck in here.
Yeah. Before we do that, I'm getting an ad in the middle of this article from an office supplies store, and they're offering like storage units and disposal bins and palm care. I don't know what that is. Palm care, some sort of moisturizer. But I'm intrigued. One of the icons is like a picture of what looks like a prosthetic hand. So I'm going to click on it and see what they're trying to sell me.
You sure? Never click on the pop-ups.
Oh, okay.
Kelso, you're crazy. No, do it.
It's an ad for gloves, like, clear gloves. So the picture was of two hands. It looked like they were trying to sell me a prosthetic hand, but they're actually trying to sell me gloves. It's okay.
Okay, we're good. All right.
Whew.
So that Indian man probably could have used that pop-up.
Yes.
Came a little too late. From the sounds of things.
Yeah, assuming his appendage could fit into one of the finger holes. Right. Cops in India say the 25-year-old was stricken in mid... Oh, my word.
No, read
Cops-
it out.
Just reading it for the first time. Cops in India say the 25-year-old was stricken in mid-carnal caper with an ex-girlfriend. His condition deteriorated. Oh, my word. What a sentence.
Obviously,
what a sentence.
We're not laughing at the misfortune of the people involved here. We're laughing at the
No.
situation. Dear listener, let's just we need to put that disclaimer in there. But
I'm laughing at the way this sentence has been composed. Cops in India say the 25-year-old was stricken in mid-carnal caper with an ex-girlfriend and his condition deteriorated. That's gold. That's Pulitzer stuff.
So, you're more interested in the journalism side of it.
Yeah.
David,
Wow.
Right.
Have you ever been stricken in mid-carnal caper?
Well, not with epoxy resin, but depends what kind of stricken. No, I would say yes, but certainly my condition didn't deteriorate. If anything, I was emboldened to continue.
Emboldened. No, I think sometimes I've got a cramp in my leg, mid-carnal caper,
Right. Yeah.
and that's stricken me. But my condition didn't deteriorate.
Yeah. Do you get the calf muscle cramp?
Yeah,
And,
depending on the Kama Sutra position,
yeah.
of course.
Well, for me, when you get a calf muscle cramp, the only way to get rid of it is to stand up. That's the only way to get rid of a calf muscle cramp.
Ah, that's interesting.
So if you're mid-coitus and you get a calf muscle cramp, suddenly you've undocked and now you're standing to attention on, up on the, it's quite a scene, I tell you. If your lady
I
friend
find
isn't used to
myself
it.
during the whole period of the carnal caper being standing upright, bolt upright.
Yeah, right. You're not horizontal like it. That's interesting. It's good to know.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what else. They use the adhesive to avoid pregnancy, a local investigator told the newspaper, of the rueful rubber incident.
I love the alliteration. This guy, he really is up for a Pulitzer, isn't he?
I'm telling you, this is fantastic. They used the adhesive to avoid pregnancy, a local investigator told the Times of India of the rueful rubber incident. Wow. Do you think we could have got another R in there? The rueful rubber incident.
Raw?
Rendezvous. Rendezvous.
Rendezvous, okay, yeah.
Rueful rubber rendezvous.
Rendezvous, yeah.
Well, actually, I skipped a bit here, so this could also lead in. When the part of the report that said cops in India say the 25-year-old was stricken in mid-carnal caper with an ex-girlfriend. Right, so this was a rueful rubber reunion.
Oh. Can we go for 5 R's, Kelso?
Can we go for what, sorry?
5 R's. You got 4 in there. No, hang on. You said a rueful rubber reunion rendezvous.
Reunion. Yeah.
We could put both in there. That's 4.
Now, how about this? Rueful rubber romantic rendezvous.
Oh, okay. That's still 4. I want 5.
The rueful rubber regretful romantic rendezvous.
Rendezvous. Yes, there it is. Bang. Ding, 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 ding. That
I
was
better
good.
take a break. Dear listener, if you're following along at home, tweet us in at Podcast KOK with your 6 R's to describe the incident. Rude?
Exactly.
Can we add rude in there?
Rude. Yeah, rude.
The rude, rueful rubber romantic reunion rendezvous.
Is there
Regretful.
any towns in India that start with R?
Ranchi
Yeah, is that... Oh, hang on. Rawalpindi? No, that's Pakistan.
is Ranchi in
Yeah.
India.
Ranchi. Okay, yeah, let's go there.
Yep, city in India. Got it.
Excellent. Yep, go for it. So what do we got?
Job done.
What have we got?
This is really
So
testing me.
anyway.
The rude, rueful, rubber, romantic, regretful, romantic.
No, you said romantic
Ranchi
twice.
incident.
Ranchi incident, yeah.
What did I say twice?
Yeah, you said romantic, I think, twice, but
Okay. Well,
but I think
dear listener,
incident,
mark me down.
incident, we could swap that out for another R. Anyway, let's just say we got 6.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Right, so it happened in a hotel. Our hero and his unnamed ex were captured on CCTV. Oh my word, hang on.
Oh, really?
That's okay. He and his ex were captured on CCTV entering the Hot Sheet Hotel. Wow, hang on, Hot Sheet Hotel. Now, I have to explain to you, Cohen, and dear listener, Hot Sheet is not capitalised, nor it is inside of quotes.
Hot
So it's like an
Sheet
adjective.
Hotel.
It's an adjective for this hotel. What's a Hot Sheet Hotel? Is it like a pay by the hour, you'd have to assume?
Yes, I'd say what that means, a hot sheet hotel. I was just,
I've never
'cause I was
heard that
gonna
before, though.
Well, it's that or a pancake manor, but I would say definitely a hot sheet, a pay by the hour motel. Yep.
Hot Sheet Hotel. Okay. Urban Dictionary says a cheap hotel which rents rooms by the hour. Yep. Okay. All special day rates, depending how long you think you can last. Okay. Okay. So they were captured on CCTV entering the Hot Sheet Hotel. Okay. So I don't know what that proves.
No.
All right, and here we've got a quote. Several witnesses said that our hero, I'm just skipping out his name, along with his former
So you're skipping out his name. I think he knows who he is.
Okay.
There's like 1 billion people in India, and I'm pretty sure there's only one guy that's done this.
Okay. Anyway, his name's Mirza. Several witnesses said that Mirza, along with his former fiancée, why can't I say that word? Fiancée. Both of whom were addicted to drugs. Oh, okay. This
Oh,
explains a
look
lot.
out. There it is.
Had gone to the hotel. There, they applied an epoxy adhesive on his private parts as they were not carrying any protection.
So hang on, let's just pause there. So you said they're on drugs, right? So it could have been a rueful, romantic, rohypnol. Yeah, you carry
Go on,
I think
do
we
the
got
rest.
We got it. I can't. Where Ranchy was in there.
Carry the
Did we
two.
do? What else was there? Rueful, regretful.
Yeah.
How am I
you
doing?
got that.
I got
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
pretty good.
not too bad.
Yeah, I
But,
think what you meant
yeah.
to say was the rude, rueful, rubber, romantic, regretful, romantic, ranchy incident.
No, you did romantic twice again.
I did it.
Rehypnol. Rehypnol.
I miss out Rohypnol. Never mind. Play along
That's
at
good.
home.
That's
Dear
7,
listeners, great
dear
fun.
listener. If you can beat 7, by all means, step up to
Tweet
the
in
plate.
podcast KK on Twitter.
Yeah, step up to the plate. This is one time where we don't mind having a home run scored off us.
Yeah. Now, it's been a while between innings. They said they applied an epoxy adhesive on the private parts. Do you think at what point they applied the epoxy adhesive?
At
Would
what
it have to
point?
be when it was at
Yeah.
full mast?
Full,
right?
full masts, yeah, but full tumescence.
Otherwise,
yeah.
it wouldn't have worked.
Well, because imagine applying it when it was at its smallest,
Yeah.
and it hardens, and then, oh,
That's literally a non-starter.
yeah. So it would have had to been that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in this
I would
quote,
say.
they said they applied an epoxy adhesive on his private parts as they were not carrying any protection. So they
I would have
they
thought
booked,
they would have had prophylactics lying around at this hot sheet motel as part of the.
I don't think they provide anything, not even like towels or tissues. I dare say.
Right.
Bring
Hey,
your
just
own.
Just quickly, Kelso, I thought of an eighth art. Well, resin. Resin's got to be in there. This is going to require pen and paper now. This is beyond anyone's memory capability.
No, I won't do that.
It'll be the title.
Let's
of
game
the
this
episode.
out, right? You
Okay,
booked
yeah.
into a hot sheet hotel.
Yeah. Or, well, or maybe they're just walk-ins. You know? I don't think
Yeah.
they're booked in.
How's it doing? You look fine.
Yeah.
Shall we? Hot sheet hotel across the road. Let's do it.
Yeah. Where's the nearest
Anyway,
hardware store?
Well, that's my question. That's my question. Right, so they're booked in. They've got into the room. Is it then that they realise that they have no condoms? Because they said, they're not carrying any protection. We've got no condoms. What are we going to do? What have you got on you? Right. Well, I've got my toolbox in the corner. Which Mertzer might have said he could have been a handyman. Or you're quite right, they could have looked across the road. Well, there's I don't see any pharmacies, but I see a hardware store.
He could have been a model aeroplane enthusiast, for all we know.
So they both turned out their pockets and decided epoxy adhesive was the way to go. Is basically the way it works.
Right. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I think there's probably at least, I would say, 1,000 things in between a condom and epoxy resin that could have been a more suitable thing. Has he not heard of finishing on the lady's décolletage? Is that
Is that French?
Oui, oui, monsieur. It is French.
What, that
Décolletage.
practice?
You know where the décolletage is, don't you?
Hang on. What's French? The word décolletage or the practice of finishing on the décolletage?
I actually, now just thinking about it, I would say both. But definitely the word is décolletage. That's the sort of cleavage neck area, the whole.
Oh, no, I did not know that. I'm going to Google that.
I would say it's below chin, above nipple. That's your décolletage. I'd like to know. Maybe I've been saying. Hopefully, I've been using that wrong.
How do I spell it? Deck?
DECLO
Yeah.
Tage. TAGE. Décolletage.
Décolletage. A low neckline on a woman's dress or top.
There you go.
Yeah. So, did you say between the chin and the start of the breast?
Yeah, I would say that area.
The breastbone.
Yeah.
Nice one. Good name for a band as well, décolletage.
It is a fun word to say. Décolletage.
Décolletage, dude. The adhesive sealed off Mertz's penis.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get that?
The adhesive sealed off Mertz's penis.
Yeah, so we're because if you recall, the headline was "Man dies after using epoxy resin."
Oh, so yeah.
So I'm about to get the details of how he removed himself from the gene pool. The adhesive sealed off Mertz's penis.
I'm going to guess. Can I guess? Can I guess? I reckon this is like one of those things they tell you, like those riddles they tell you at school. You know, Jim is lying on the floor dead. He's surrounded by water and broken glass. How did he die? And the answer is that Jim was a fish. You know, and the bowl smashed. I reckon in the same vein, no pun intended, that what happened was he could not pee and then had a bladder infection. And also Jim's a fish.
Correct.
Yes.
Next
Is that
up.
right? Did I get it right?
The adhesive sealed off Mertz's penis. In addition, the twosome mixed the epoxy with some sort of whitener and inhaled the mixture for a kick. They're making so many different incorrect decisions here. Apart from checking into a hot sheet hotel.
Murchie was not long for this world, was he?
No.
No.
Things were all signs point to no.
So, and is the partner also dead, or does she live to tell the tale?
As far as I know, she's still alive. Right, let's close this out.
I thought they would have been joined together forever.
That's comedy. Join at the hip, literally. Oh dear. Actually, come to think about, to try and explain how Jim was dead and there was nothing in the room but a smashed glass and some water. How would you explain the situation when the cops found poor old Mertzer dead on the bedroom floor? Dead man with nothing but a piece of plastic on the floor that looks like a thumb, and the victim had a big smile on his face.
Well, but also epoxy resin. I mean, I don't want to get nerdy on you, Kelso, but I'm pretty sure that you have to mix it right then and there. So it would have been 2 separate tubes in a little mixing tray. Yeah. So the telltale signs would have been too far away. I wonder if it was also dipped, or was it lovingly applied by his partner?
I'm going to assume, based on the rude romantic reunion side of things, it was romantically applied.
In between sniffs, from this, what you were saying.
Now, when poor old Mertzer was discovered deceased by the local constabulary, do you think the impromptu or homemade condom was still in situ, or I'm assuming it had kind of rolled off?
I don't think it comes off. I think it's probably still on him now. I think it's
right. Yeah, no, I was imagining kind of like a casing which could have okay. It's stuck there.
I would say it's the only thing that remains of poor old Mertzer at this very minute.
Let's say if the coroner has to exhume him in 9 years, they'll find a skeleton and a very sturdy condom.
Or even better, like in 1,000 years. When the human race is now something else altogether, and maybe after an apocalypse and they do a bit of digging around, they find this, perfectly penis-shaped epoxy resin mold. And the stories they'd tell in the future, they'd be like, tip of the cap for Mertzer for keeping it hard all that time. I mean...
Let's close this out. The article then goes on to read. The journalist is having fun here now, I think. He says, he's already had fun, or she. At the time, here we go. At the time of the hormone-charged hijinks, cops said the duo... That's worth reading again. It's so enjoyable. At the time of the hormone-charged hijinks, cops said the duo were wasted. Wow.
Yeah, that's a no shit Sherlock from the cops there. I'm sure, of course they were.
Oh dear. And I'm afraid, dear listener, if you're looking for a pick-me-up, it doesn't get any better. The final 2 sentences. Mertzer was found in some shrubs by a pal the next day. He later died due to multiple organ failure. Oh my word. This precautionary tale.
Wow.
Precautionary tale, dear listener. Whatever you do, when you check into a hot sheet hotel for a rude...
Yeah, that's rude.
Romantic, rueful rubber reunion in Ranchi. With Rohypnol involved. Yeah. And it's also regretful. Do check that you have condoms on you.
And one more, for goodness sake, dear listener, rubber up.
Indeed.
The other day I accidentally superglued my thumb to my forefinger. Don't worry, everything is okay.
Kerwin Rizal has rather grumpily handed to me this printout of an email we received from RJ. I don't have any more details than that, but I think, yes, I'm correct in saying that Rizal is annoyed that she's getting muscled in by AJ, who wants to be one of our virtual interns. You could do the same thing too, dear listener, by tweeting us at podcastkk and emailing us podcastkk@gmail.com. Becoming a virtual intern today when you find an interesting article that you'd like Kerwin and I to discuss. But RJ has jumped the queue and upset Rizal. Let's see what's come through. Woman claims to be married to Michael Jackson's ghost. Oh, fair enough.
Right.
Is that something you'd lay claim to me?
Wait, hang on a second. Michael Jackson's dead? What?
Hello. Where was my memo?
I mean, I haven't been paying attention, but okay. No, okay, fair enough.
No, definitely dead.
The ghost of Michael Jackson. All right.
Woman claims to be married to Michael Jackson's ghost. So I'm going to guess specifically. She said, "No, I wasn't married to Michael before he was dead. That's why you don't know about it. But after he died,
Right.
you know, we met on a house viewing, and before you knew it, we were in the closet."
Oh, well, that explains it, actually. That he was inhabited by the ghost of Michael Jackson. Well, that makes sense.
Well, no, she didn't say inhabited. She's just married to Michael Jackson's ghost.
Right. Well, this is, going back to the previous article. This is some more that we can present this to the judge at Michigan, saying that we have evidence now that that he was possessed by the ghost of Michael Jackson. It had nothing to do with him.
Elmo was, yes, of course. He was.
Yeah. Well, he's got form. Anyway, the less said, the better.
Okay, so here we go.
Yes.
There's another little I don't know what they call this. There's a quote just under the headline. "We have our ups and downs, but Michael, the truth is, I just can't stop loving you."
No.
So presumably that's a quote from the Dearly Betrothed.
No, this is going to be like our Celine Dion thing from a few episodes ago, where they're going to be working in. That's a Michael Jackson song. I just can't stop loving you. They are going to be working in a lot of.
How many?
Michael
How many do you
songs.
reckon?
If they don't have at least 3, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Okay, I'm going to write that down. So, Kerwin says 3.
Yeah.
I'll go for 4 then.
Yeah.
Now, before we read the article,
if
I'll
it's
read
not
the
3,
headlines again.
Well, I was going to say, if there's not at least 3, then that article is very bad. Jump on.
All right, so before we go further, dear listener, you can play along at home. Let's work out what, if we were writing this article based on the headline, woman claims to be married to Michael Jackson's ghost.
Yeah.
Which songs would you work in?
Ooh, well, Thriller. We have Thriller in there.
Yeah. Thriller. So, when we first met, he swept me off my feet. I can tell you it was one of life's real thrillers.
Thrillers. Yeah.
Well, we work that. That will work.
Yeah. When she first saw him, she said, doesn't matter if you're black or white, because, no, that would cut that out. Not using that.
She's black or white?
No, we're not using that.
How about...
So what are the songs?
Obviously, they've already used I Can't Stop Loving You.
Yeah, The Girl Is Mine.
The Girl Is Mine, loving it.
Yeah.
ABC is a bit hard to work that in.
What else?
Beat It. We had our ups and downs. One time he did tell me to beat it.
Well, how about this? As far as the ghost, I mean, if everything does anything wrong, she can just blame it on the boogie man.
Bingo. Back of the net.
I mean, I should be writing this article. I mean,
we've got 3 or 4, so we're good to go.
So,
all right, let's see what happens. A medium has claimed that she is married to Michael Jackson's ghost. How convenient that it happens to be a medium. I can hear him and I can talk to him, but you can't. But that's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, was Michael Jackson into mediums? I thought he was more of a large girl, sort of.
He was a maximum, yeah.
Yeah,
Shimon! Yeah.
All right, that's Kathleen, who also claims that she is a reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, she's a real person. Okay.
Okay, well, I don't think you, me, or the dear listener should let that prejudice us. But
well, she does sound like a professional ghost fucker. Let's just say that. I said ghost.
Kathleen, who also claims that she's a reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe, said in an interview that Jackson's ghost proposed to her clairvoyantly with a pink engagement ring.
Okay.
Clairvoyantly. Now, I can imagine Michael Jackson proposing flamboyantly, but clairvoyantly? Is that too much of a stretch?
The issue was the flamboyant clairvoyant.
And if there's not someone out there called styling themselves as the flamboyant clairvoyant, I think we should stop the podcast, quit our jobs.
We've got a new career. Yeah.
What's the first name? Obviously not something like Claire, the flamboyant clairvoyant. It's got to be.
Oh, you got me there.
Tatiana, something like that, you know.
Tatiana, yeah. Oh, yeah, something Eastern European always works. Yeah.
Tatiana, the flamboyant clairvoyant. .com.
I like it.
Alright, cool. Pink
So
engagement
when-
ring? Would you have pegged Michael Jackson for a pink engagement ring, whether he was being flamboyant or clairvoyant?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I just thought about the name of the clairvoyant. Dirty Diana, the Shimon, the
Back of the net.
Yeah, yeah. So when did they get together? How did it start again? Just tell me, like.
Well, we don't know.
We haven't got to that.
All,
Yeah, okay,
all we've
sorry,
heard is
yeah.
Kathleen claims that she is she's a reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. Kathleen said in an interview that Jackson's ghost proposed to her with a pink engagement ring. So there's no.
And let me guess. I think this is. I know. Okay, sorry. I know how they proposed. Because he said, gave her the ring and said he wanted to be starting something.
Yeah, you can't really count that.
Okay,
Because that
can't
was
really count
already,
that. No,
yeah,
sorry, it was already out
dear
there,
listener,
yeah.
dear listeners, picky.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Right, now I don't want to add any more red flags into the mix, but here we go. Kathleen added that the Reverend Martin Luther King allegedly officiated the ceremony while she was getting out of the bath. What?
Okay.
Okay, so the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. officiated the ceremony, which happened while she was getting out of the bath?
Well, it sounds like she had a dream.
Now, was she telling the story to the journalist while she was getting out of the bath? Or was she getting married to Michael Jackson while she was getting out of the bath, which the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. officiated over? Or did Michael Jackson propose to her with a pink engagement ring while she was getting out of the bath?
There's too much. There's so overload.
Well, we can't give any marks to this journalist so far. He's having no fun. He hasn't done a single Michael Jackson pun.
Yeah. Well,
And he's confused
We'll
us.
give him a chance. He's just he's just laying out the
Or
facts
she.
first.
Actually,
Yeah.
It was a lady.
Okay. Yep.
Kathleen, who's from the US, told the Daily Star that Jackson uses her body through possession. Jackson uses her body through possession. Well, I guess if they're married, I guess that's consenting adults. That's fine if he uses her body.
Well, that's the way you make me feel.
Yee-hee!
Shimon.
I'll give you that one. That was good. So Kathleen says that Jackson uses her body through possession or channeling, if you refer to it professionally.
Channeling.
She said.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So Jackson, they're a couple. They've got married, but Jackson uses her body through possession. So, do you think they're ever in a room together at the same time?
I don't know. And I'm getting confused. What the hell was Martin Luther King doing there? Like, what is he?
Yeah, no, that was a real non sequitur.
Okay.
Sequitur?
Right.
How do you say that word?
Sequitur.
Non sequitur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so because that doesn't relate to what we've just heard. So let me just read that again. Sorry, we're going back a sentence. She added that Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. allegedly officiated the ceremony while she was getting out of the bath.
Right.
But the previous sentence, she just said that Jackson proposed to her. But now, obviously, there's a need for a reverend, whether he be a king or a junior, doesn't matter, and a ceremony. So I guess they got married, but while she was getting out, too hard.
I guess that ghosts. If I had to make excuses for what was her name, Kathleen? That ghosts probably don't experience time as we would. You know what I mean? So maybe 1 second, while she was having a piece of toast, Michael Jackson proposed to her, and then as she was getting out of the bath, suddenly appeared Michael Jackson. and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King to officiate. Now they're married.
Before you know it, bingo,
Yeah.
you got a story.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I'm assuming happened. I hope that the relationship's going well.
yeah, I just hope it works out and that they're giving each enough personal care. Now, I'm going to paraphrase this last sentence because it's quite a long one. So, Kathleen says that Jackson uses her body through possession in order to live a happy marriage to her. He sings, dances, and eats food via Kathleen's body.
Oh. Well, that's romantic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a good explanation as well at the same time. So, but that's lovely, isn't it?
It is. That's a feel-good story. I think that's the story we need right now, Kelso.
You know what I'm kind of imagining in my mind, though, is that variety act where a person dresses up as a man on one side, they turn to the camera, and then when they sing the female side, they turn around, they're dressed as a lady.
Yeah.
I think this might be what be happening here.
Right.
I wonder if Kathleen was ex-vaudeville.
Oh, and is that's all the article? There's no update, or is Kathleen expecting any ghost babies at any time, or?
Well, I don't like this Backstreet article reading that you're exercising here. I'm reading the article, aren't I?
Oh, sorry. I thought that was the end of it. I thought we were. I was hearing the swell of classical music there, and the titles were coming up.
I just make you have so much fun you don't realise how far through the article we are. I think we've read two paragraphs so far, 2 sentences.
Right.
Right. Kathleen added that she believes Jackson chose her because of her apparent resemblance to the late Monroe. Well, that makes sense because she is the reincarnation of Marilyn.
Apparently. That's convenient, isn't it?
I've got a funny feeling that Kathleen might be her own best publicist.
So if she
Kathleen,
looks...
yeah.
So does she look like Marilyn Monroe, or is just
we
the
haven't-
soul of Marilyn
I've got
Monroe lives inside her?
Well, according to Kathleen, her apparent resemblance to the late Monroe. So
She looks like one of the most gorgeous women ever lived, and she's mucking around with ghosts. I just don't buy it. Kathleen.
mucking around. Kathleen said, "I feel special that he chose me for a wife. Though not on paper," she quickly adds. "We treat our relation..." Just a quick disclaimer there. "We treat our relationship as though we are married. We have our ups and downs, but Michael, the truth is I just can't stop loving you."
No.
So that's the
There
quote
it is.
from above.
Okay, well, still. It twice. Maybe
I
that's
think
the
it's-
only one they could get clearance for.
Yeah. from the nerds in legal, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Reminds me of which I need to
pushers.
speak to the nerds in legal about Roselle. Don't tell her I said that.
No, I won't. Oh, she's here.
Kathleen goes on. "Michael stays in me all the time. So he comes to the
yuck.
restroom with me and calls these special bonding moments toiletries. Oh, my word.
Oh, he's into the Scheisse flicker. Gross. I mean, nothing surprises me now about that guy, but seriously, that's just... Come on.
He loves
Michael.
cookies. He cusses a lot more than I'd expect him to. He talks to me a lot, which is not what I expected from the shy man on Sorod TV. For all those years, I was a fan.
Does it say he cusses a lot more?
Yeah, this is worth reading again. There's a lot of information in here that might help us understand the whole romantic duo. Michael stays in me all the time. First of all, very suggestive.
Yeah.
Michael stays in me all the time, so he comes to the restroom with me and calls these special bonding moments toiletries.
Oh, so literally when she goes to the bathroom, he's the man in the mirror? Shamo!
Shamo! Yee! Wow. She goes on. He loves cookies, and it don't matter if they're black or white. Yee! Yeah, I didn't make that up, dear listener. In the article, it does say he loves cookies.
He
That's
loves
what she
cookies.
said about
Well,
Michael.
who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
And then, this is an important point. He cusses a lot, more than I'd expect him to. He talks to me a lot, which is not what I expected from a shy man on Surai TV. All those years I was a fan. Right, so interesting.
Right, okay.
Maybe she's misunderstanding the shaman as a swear word. Shaman, maybe in Yiddish, that's a swear word, in Kathleen's Yiddish.
Maybe. Yeah, or maybe he just peppers his speech with swear words all the time, like that, where you wouldn't expect it, like Billy motherfucker Jean, something like that. I don't know.
Have you consulted the man in the goddamn mirror? That's not a swear word, dear listener. It was in the 50s.
Well, it's a curse. It's a curse.
Yeah, so maybe Kathleen is a bit potty mouth, so she has to explain it away.
Right. Well, they always say that it's the details that make things seem real, So maybe that's what it is. So, so that read on. I'm all in.
Right, Jackson, who died in 2009, age 50, and Robert and Kathleen haven't yet consummated their marriage. That might be a surprise to some listeners.
Well, I mean, maybe we should have a little sly word to Kathleen, because I'm not sure if she's aware. But, Michael wasn't... how do I put this, Kathleen? So, hang on, when was this article written? So, he died in 2009, did you say?
Yeah.
Well,
this is 2021, this article.
Wow, so 12 years later. Well, it's good. It seems Michael's found love again.
Yeah, he probably checked out some of the other ghosts first before he went for a human wife. Decided to pop the question. They would have had the necessary requisite courting period, no doubt. No sex till the third date. Okay, so there's a final paragraph here where we've got some more of Kathleen's musings. It might be somewhat illuminative. He does it...
Sorry. Yeah, you go.
He doesn't like being touched back. He scares me with spider visions and dead corpse visions if I kiss him or try to initiate romance physically, said Kathleen. What?
Okay. Well, I do know this, that Michael apparently refers to Kathleen's genitalia as Netherland. I did know that.
Now, is Neverland a song, or is that a reference to the theme park?
No, that's where he lived, yeah.
Right, okay. I thought we were doing songs, not locations intimately related to Michael's life.
Kelso, I've run out of songs. So now I'm doing locations.
Okay, great. Actually, there's not many locations. There's Neverland, and that stage they did a Pepsi commercial for, maybe? That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's locations and things. Yeah. So if I slip in a mention about the rhinestone glove, you'll know why.
Yeah. Another location I can think of is that balcony where he dangled a baby off, maybe? Was it a
famous balcony? Yeah, that's right.
And
that was
loving
a balcony.
It. Yeah. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to have to question the journalistic style of NME.com, which I believe is a musical website, isn't it?
The New Musical Express, that's what it says.
Wow. Well, after all this very in-depth information about Kathleen, her supposed marriage to the King of Pop, the next article, line in the article says, in other news, it's been revealed that Jackson once pitched a collaboration with Duran Duran, but the group turned down the offer. Whoa! We have taken a big turn away from the article here.
Is that how it ends?
Well, then there's like 3 or 4 more sentences on Simon Le Bon, what he has said, and other reports. How weird.
It sounds like this journalist is trying really hard not to throw in some Michael Jackson song references. Like,
I think there must be like a word limit of what, for them to be paid, they need to. So they said, in other news, Jackson once pitched a collaboration with Duran Duran. The Simon Le Bon,
NME, the New Musical Express, is obliged to mention Duran Duran in every single article they write, no matter what.
And if not Duran Duran, Simon Le Bon. Anyway, you might be interested to know that the Simon Le Bon fronted band appeared on What Happens Live with Andy Cohen earlier this month where they were asked whether they had a relationship with Jackson back in the 80s. In response, keyboardist Nick Rhodes recalled the time he received an unexpected phone call from the King of Pop. The musician said that Jackson was keen to make a record together. Following the release of the group's 1984 album, The Reflex, I go to everyone. Hey, Michael Jackson called last night. Do you fancy maybe doing a song with him, he explained. And they all went, nah. End of article.
That's... Oh, wow.
Wow.
I don't know what to say about that. That journalist could have gone so many places. He chose to round off the Michael Jackson ghost article with how Duran weren't interested in recording with Michael Jackson. Okay.
I'm going to put in Michael Jackson songs and see what low-hanging fruit we missed.
Yeah, what did we miss? I don't know.
Bad. We could have got the...
No, I did that. I kicked off with that one.
Did you?
Yep.
There you go.
Check
You
the
Rock
tapes.
My World off Invincible.
Yeah, I reckon we stick to songs that were famous, because otherwise,
Okay.
he brought out a lot of shit songs,
What about,
He
I
did,
think this
he
one
did.
particularly applies to Kathleen. You are not alone. You are not alone. I am here with you. I am
think that song was
possessing
written
your
about,
body.
Lisa Marie Presley, which was almost like the living embodiment of Elvis, because she really looked like Elvis, didn't he? And apparently that's what kind of he liked about her, just under the tongue. You didn't hear that from me, dear listener, even though you just heard it from me.
I feel like sometimes when Kathleen lies down at night and she feels she's, Michael's spirit close, she would sometimes say, "It always feels like somebody's watching me."
Great song.
Now, is that by Michael Jackson, that song?
It's not. He just sings that bit. I can't remember who sings it, but I think the story goes that whoever it was recording the song, and Michael Jackson was in the same studio, and he just knocked on the door and said, "You wanted to sing this bit?" And he said, "Okay."
Could you give us 2 bars of Somebody's Watching Me, do you reckon?
I always feel like somebody's watching me. And something about it ain't no mystery. Because the guy
How would
that
it sound
sings
like if you stepped into the Royal Albert Hall?
See, Kelso, I don't have my my thing at hand anymore.
You're
I mean, I could actually. It's all post pro. I could do it. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Come on.
Encore.
Thank you. That's me picking up the flowers and the bouquets. Yes, thank you.
I'm not sure if I could be a Michael Jackson impersonator. On one hand, you get to wear a cool white glove. On the other hand, you don't.
Kerr, and I can tell by the fact that I can look out the window and see Roselle hightailing it out the front gate. It's time to stop this show. How do we stop this show?
We stop the show with a song at the end, and Kelso, we have a suggestion for songs. Sometimes we do a song that may have something to do with one of the stories or with one of the things that we talked about earlier in the episode, but we actually have a special request from J7.
J7.
And
now you can do
he
the
or
same
she-
as J7 and email in at podcastkak@gmail.com or tweet us at podcastkak. If you've got a song request, send it over and we'll give it a rip. Thanks, J7.
Yeah, see what I can do. Yeah, J7 just wants a Rolling Stones song and mentions here, have you heard about the Mick Jagger rumour with Mary Ann Faithfull?
Mick Jagger rumour with Marianne Faithfull.
Marianne Faithfull, yes. So I thought, no, I haven't. So I had a little look into it, Kelso, just before I play a Rolling Stones song for J7, that there's a famous rumour about a drug bust that happened in the 60s in Mick Jagger in London when he was seeing Mary Ann Faithfull.
Now, I will say that in the 60s in London was the best time for a drug bust.
Yeah, the best time just to be around.
Best time
to
for
be
drugs.
taking drugs. Yeah.
Best time for drugs, best time for bus.
So apparently the London Bobbies busted into Mick Jagger's flat and found him there with Mary Ann Faithfull, and he was penetrating her with a Mars bar.
In the closet.
No, just right there on the couch.
Now,
Not
do you think
even
it's
trying to
possible the local constabulary confused a Mars bar for Mick Jagger's penis?
Right, because it was melting everywhere.
Much like Mick Jagger nowadays. It was the 60s, so probably was like
Exactly.
a well-formed Mars bar at the time.
Yeah. So that's apparently a famous story. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I do
Whoa.
know that that is a
Well,
famous rumour.
You've dipped into that rumour. It seems like you enjoyed it. Is this a new
did.
segment? Kerwin's Rumour Mill?
You know what? I think it might be.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah, dear listener, if you have a song or a rumour or both you would like for us to explore at the end of every What's All That About episode, go ahead and tweet us and email us. But anyway,
podcastkak@gmail.com and podcastkak on Twitter, and be a part of Kerwin's Rumour Mill. Be his grist to his grind. Does that make sense?
my milk, yeah.
His milk.
So I just thought I'd keep it simple for J7 and play a little one of my favourite Rolling Stones songs. So here we go. I saw her today at the reception. A glass of wine in her hands. I knew she was gonna meet her connection. At her feet was a footloose man. No, you can't always get what you want. Oh, you can't always get what you want. And you can't always get what you want. But you can try sometimes, and you just might find you get what you need. Oh yeah, you get what you need. And I went down to the demonstration to get my fair share of abuse, singing, we're gonna vent our frustration, and if we don't, we're gonna blow a 50 amp fuse. But you can't always get what you want. No, you can't always get what you want. Yeah, you can't always get what you want. But you can try sometimes, and you just might find you get what you need. Ooh, you get what you need, yeah. Oh, you get what you need.
Very nice indeed.
So, excellent
Perhaps-
words of advice there from Mick Jagger. You cannot always get what you want,
No.
but you can try sometimes.
Yeah. And that applies to all the stories we've talked about today. I think Kathleen couldn't always get what she wanted, but she worked out a way, and so did Maritza, who was in badly need of...
Boxycock, who could forget him?
That's right. And let's face it, the Rialto, he also found a way to love. Oh, Tickle Me Elmo playing a primary role. Now, J7, thanks for sending that in, getting into the Kerwin's Rumour Mill. And J7, you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need.
Exactly.
Kerwin, that's all very well, but that does leave our dear listener with one question.
Indeed it does, Kelso.
What's all that about?
We'll chat to you next time, and don't forget, dear listener, you can tweet us with any of your news article ideas and showstopper song requests and rumour mills by tweeting us at podcastkak or emailing us at podcastkak@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening. It really does mean a lot to us. Do tell a friend about us. This is how we hope to grow this show. Grow this show, not grope this show. We'll get in trouble with Elmo.
We can grope the show. Yeah, no, we can't grope the show.
And if you've got time, you're not spending it researching where to get your very own Tickle Me Elmo so that you can plan your own rude, regretful, rueful, a rubber romantic rendezvous involving ripping a hole in Ranchi, then give us a sweet 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice.
Till next time.
Hooroo!
See you later.